a really like aggressive word. I guess because there's a lot of information out there, but it's like, where do you go and find it? You know what I mean? Like, I know where to find it. Like, I go on YouTube and it's like, I know keywords to use, and I'm like, done. But like, I feel like for some people who are just like starting out to be a little bit more like environmentally conscious, or some people who aren't really like, you know, uber greenies or into that green life, they're kind of like, well, what can I do to like even get on a stepping stone to start crossing the river? You know, like, just one stepping stone is better than like not even like trying. Like, any effort is good effort, basically. So basically, I just wanted to share a very small, condensed amount of effort that my family and I put in. I'm just gonna say family. It's just the two of us and Kat, but like, we basically are a family, so like whatever. So first thing I guess I would start with is, you could probably see that it's pretty dark in here. And that is because I actually don't like to turn any lights on during the day, period, because I have a huge big bulb in the sky. You can see it coming out that window over there. So yeah, pretty much when I'm home, I do not turn any lights on during the day at all. And that is because we have a lot of windows where I live, and I have more than enough adequate light. And I know that's not the same for everybody. I know some people live in really tiny apartments, and I did for many years. But I even practiced this when I lived in a tiny apartment, because I had enough natural light coming through that I could do things. Like, I'm not really doing any kind of really intricate work, so I don't really need like light focused on it. So yeah, I pretty much just keep all the lights off in the house until about, 6 p.m. during winter and about 8 p.m. during summer. And then I'll only have like one light on in the whole house, and that's in the room that I'm in. And most people are like, oh, that's such an effort. But it's like, usually if I'm like going to another part of the house, I'll turn the light off, and I'll go to the other part of the house and I'll turn the light on. And I do that for two reasons. One, because I don't really see the point in using an unnecessary amount of light for just myself. And also because where we live, electricity is a bit weird here. I've lived in a lot of places, but this is definitely the strangest electricity grid I've been around. I don't even know if that's like correct, but we use very limited electricity here. We barely use our dryer. I might use it like once or twice a week, maybe. Like during winter when it's like freezing, it's been like raining all week, and our clothes are more likely to go moldy here because we live on the coast, because of like the air and everything like that. And yet like we still have the same crazy electricity bill every time. So I just try my best to keep it as low-key as possible. And then I also know that I'm personally like, contributing to a greener tomorrow. It's basically like Earth Hour every day here. Who doesn't love that? So that's pretty much just like one thing I do, and it's really simple. Like, anyone can literally do it. Like, people probably already do it and they don't even like realize they're doing it. They're like, oh my god, I do that too. And it's like, well, you're saving the planet, man. Other than that, I have solar lights out the front of my house, because I don't really like to keep the light on outside the front. So they're okay. They're not the best quality solar lights I've ever had. So sometimes I do have to turn like the porch light on, which is a bit annoying because I would prefer it if I had some good quality solar lights, but I just got whatever I could at the time. And yeah, I pretty much just use those to illuminate my path coming up to my home. So then I use very little light. We have LED bulbs in the entire house. We changed them all when we first moved in, as I said before, because of the weird electricity grid where we live. So we have like LED environmental bulbs everywhere. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And that's about it. I also try to keep most PowerPoint switched off unless I'm actually using it. So like, I will not switch my microwave on unless I actually use it, which I might only use it like once or twice a week. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. I wasn't even gonna really even discuss that. I was actually gonna talk about food shopping today because, fucking raised food prices, love that. Basically, I just wanted to like show y'all what I have, what I use to go food shopping with. So basically, like, we have like a bunch of like baskets like at our front door, and we keep all our bags there if we're going food shopping, and I have a bunch of bags in my car. Now I have a bunch of bags that I get from work, when I buy stuff from work, which is pretty good. So sometimes I just have like bags like this, just hello cat, just chilling in my car. And then basically like when I go food shopping, I'll use those so I don't have to buy a bag when I go there, because like, look, I get a discount at Woolies, and usually my discount is around $1. So like I could get a free bag every time I go, but like then I'm just gonna have like millions of bags, nothing to do with them. And I don't really dig that. I really like bags like this, like the ones I get from work. You can get them almost anywhere now. The reason I like them is because, you know, a lot of people have like 30 bags just like sitting there and they use them for their food shop. Cool. Some of them you need, like some of them, yeah. But the thing I like about this is I could use this as like gift wrapping at Christmas. You know what I mean? So like at the end of the year, if I was like, wow, I've really accumulated a lot of bags. I don't really want to be buying wrapping paper and like sticky tape and like things like that, like Christmas or birthdays and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to put the present in this bag. And then not only does the person get a present, they also get like this bag. And it's just like, great, sick, done. And so like, that's kind of why I like bags like this. This one here is like, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it's kind of made of like tent-like material. And so it's cool if something goes wrong. So like if something spills or like, you know, just something like that. It doesn't go moldy because I can wash it. It dries really easily. I've had fabric bags before and they've gone moldy or they've gone a bit dank or something spilt and it's never kind of come out again. It's looking like a bit like how you going. But these ones, you just wash them, they're pretty fine. Except if you spill coffee in them and then you're completely screwed. So reusable bags, my favorite, because they actually can have a life after you use them for food shopping. Because like, you know, I guess you can wrap a present in like a Woolies plastic bag or Coles plastic bag, but it doesn't really have the same prettiness, if that's what you're concerned about. Like I wouldn't really care if I got a gift in a Coles bag. I'd be like, cool, thanks for the Coles bag. But at the same time, I'm kind of just like, well, this is a piece of plastic. I'm just going to have to keep reusing and reusing until it breaks down. And I would rather have something that's made of material, which I could use for like many moons to come. And not everyone wants to tote around like a green Woolies bag, you know? So something like this, you could use it as like kids book bag, kids swimming bag. You could literally use it as like a camping bag. You can use it for anything. You could roll up a sleeping bag and put in it. It's just nice because not only does it have one use with food shopping, but it can have many, many lives afterwards. So therefore you'd get more bang for your buck, and basically it wouldn't just kind of sit there unused. You would just constantly give it life. And that's kind of what you should be doing if you want to reuse and constantly, like, you know, find ways to use items in your home so you're not constantly buying different things. So that's another thing. So where we live, we're actually really lucky. Like it's a bit like environmental around here, which is nice. So my partner actually picked this up from like, I live like on the south coast, and so like we got this in Gerringong, and I'm sure you can get these online, but it was just really handy because it was like a local store, so we could just drive in and buy one when we were buying our food. And so basically what it is, it's basically like a little cluster bag, and so like you can go to the produce section, and instead of like peeling off a plastic bag, you basically get this, you put your fruits and veggies and stuff in it, and then close it, and then it's good to go. Put a little drawstring, and then you just wash it if it gets filthy. So these are actually really cool. So I actually take these with me when I go food shopping, so I don't have to get plastic bags. There have been a few times where I didn't bring them, and that's really hard for me because I'm just like, ugh. So like when I, like me being me, I'm just like, I've altered what I'm actually going to go buy that day because I don't want to get plastic bags. And also I grabbed a plastic bag with the sole purpose of making a greenhouse out of it. So if I get any like little plastic bags, I'll actually like save them and I'll actually make little greenhouses for my plants out of them. And I find that really beneficial if I'm growing like mangoes and things like that, just because like I like to keep them in like a little greenhouse chamber for like the first couple months of their life. And then I'll just keep reusing the bag until it completely like is destroyed, and then I'll do away with it as you do. This is what it looks like with actual apples in it. This was my apple example. So like the other week, I was going to like a various amount of places, and I was just like, this is kind of talking about these bags, but now kind of talking about like buying produce from places. Sorry. So basically, I knew I needed to go food shopping, but I didn't really want to go to Woolies because like I don't really enjoy going to those places a lot of the time. So like, I'm vegan, my partner's vegetarian, and so like we don't eat that much stuff that you find at the store. And when we do, sometimes we find that we're like eating a lot of those like really processed vegan things, and I don't really like that. It's something that I started doing like when I started dating him, but like it's not something that I personally do like on my own as an individual. I'm more than happy just to like live off vegetables and fruit, to be completely honest with you. And so like, I guess the point I'm just trying to make is like, if it's possible for you to, because sometimes it's not, to variate your plan, do it. I like literally just drove 20 minutes out of my way last week, but it was still getting me to where we needed to go to like this big fruit shop, because where I live, it's amazing, but there's not really any big kind of fruit markets, and I really enjoy fruit markets just because like you can buy a lot of like wholesale farm stuff, and you can support small businesses, and there's not really a ton of processed crap there to kind of tempt you, and so you're basically just buying what you need, and the processed crap isn't there. Because I guess for all of us, sometimes it's like sparkling in the distance and we're like, ooh, but we really don't need it. And a lot of the time it can take a lot of like, you know, what's the word for it? It's not self-reliance, it's not self-confidence, it's a self-restraint. There we go, that's the word. To not purchase it. And sometimes a lot of people, myself sometimes as well, I just can't be trusted. So I'm just like, it's better just to like get rid of it, so you don't have to even walk down that path. I guess the other thing as well, if that's not really like something you can do, that's totally cool, because we're all different. A really good like thing I learned when I first became vegan was from someone else who had been doing this for many moons. And basically what they said to me was, you're going to shop on the outside of the supermarket. So basically what that means is like, so when I walk into a supermarket, the fruit, veggie, everything section is basically where 90% of my food shopping comes from. And then I might walk to the frozen section and I might get one or two frozen things, like peas or like berries, but we're not really eating those at the moment, so like whatever. And then I might go to the grain section. I might get some pasta. I might get some beans, things like that. I will get some soy milk, and that's it. I don't tend to go down the other aisles unless it's for something really specific, but that's basically how I was taught to shop. And it was basically like, that's how you shop responsibly, and you know like what you're kind of eating, you know what I mean? It's kind of just like, here's where the actual food is and here's all the empty calories. And so basically, yeah, that's kind of like how I learned shop, and it was very, what's the word for it? Not beneficial. It was a smart strategy to have during the pandemic, only just because I didn't struggle for food as much during the pandemic as a lot of other people did. And that is because 90% of my diet is vegetables, and the other 10 is probably like pasta or legumes and shit like that. And so like, whenever like I would walk down the aisles, because I was like, I'd like a tin of crushed tomatoes, but like it doesn't really matter if I don't get one because I can just buy a tomato. I thought it was really interesting, especially in a lot of the city suburbs, just because I did actually spend a lot of time up in the city like back then, was that the fresh fruit section was just plentiful, but then everything else was just like cleared out. And I understand like people are like, oh my god, we're gonna be like barren in our houses for like 2 years, I better like stock up on all these cans of tomatoes. And it's like, yes, that's cool, but like, you know, you don't, like, I guess, like, you don't have to. You can buy some tomatoes as well. And I do understand, like, why they were doing it. Like, I'm not, like, a fucking idiot, but it's just, like, you know, I stocked up myself on some things. I bought, like, 2 things of potatoes, and I bought a big bag of rice. But, like, I guess because, like, I know what I eat, I was just like, well, I garden a lot, I can probably grow the rest and just make do, because I'm used to making do. That's what I've done my whole life. And so it's just like, I don't need all that other stuff. And I think that that's something that people need to learn, is that you can actually make do. Like, you don't actually need like your $20 chicken thighs and your big can of smoked salmon, and you don't need the best pasta and this and that and this and that. Like, you can get by on like rice, beans, veg. It's pretty easy. People have been doing it for a really long time. And you know what, your digestive tract might actually like be like, thanks sis, that was great. Like, you don't know, like, you know, you don't know. But anyway, we're digressing again. Getting back to the food shop. When I rarely ever have to buy water because I have a water bottle, and I only keep the one water bottle because I don't like the single-use plastic ones. And when I do find them, I collect them, and I do try and take them to the depository thing so that we can like recycle them responsibly. If I ever do have to buy a water bottle, because I had to buy a water bottle last week because I lost my water bottle and then I found it. I bought this one. So this is a Voss bottle. So it's glass. And it smashes, so don't put it in your bag and then throw your bag on the ground, because I did that once and it was awful. I am planning on going on like a huge hike in a couple weeks, so I was like, cool, I'm probably going to need like another liter of water when I go on my hike. So sick. So after I finish this, I'm probably going to fill it with water and put it back in the fridge, and then that's like a bottle for cold water. Cool. If I should probably state as well, I try not to buy anything made of plastic. So when I go to the shops, everything I buy is made of glass. And I do this for two reasons. One, because it's more likely to last a little bit longer. So therefore, after this has been exhausted from drinking and I don't want to drink water out of it anymore, I could fill it with legumes. Oh my God, look at that. Wow. So you're not gonna have to go to Kmart and buy like one of those Francie Schmancer holders. Because you know what? You were like, I bought this $5 Voss bottle this one time. My legumes can live in here. Great. But you know, some people are like, oh my God, the aesthetic of my house is so important. And it's just like, I don't want a Voss bottle, and that's fine, mate. You don't have to have one, but it's just more like, if you don't give a shit and you're just happy to reduce, reuse and recycle everything, that's an idea for you. You can put flour in it, you can do anything really. But yeah, like literally everything I buy is glass. Like, and the reason I do this is because everything's going to have a second life. So I'm going to use it for water. I'm going to use it for legumes. I'm going to use it for flour. I'm going to, you know, maybe I'll turn it into a drinking glass and I'll drink some apple cider out of it at some time. Maybe I'll have a cup of tea in it, you know, or like some orange juice. Who's to say, really? The other thing, this is my other one, it's full of flour. The other thing that I use them for is propagating. So a lot of the time I will save these jars and I will use them for propagating. I don't really like to propagate in plastic ones. And also the thing is, one day your plastic one might get a wee bit manky and you're gonna have to throw it away. And not all plastics can be recycled the same. That's the thing. People don't realize that there's lots of different kinds of plastic out there. It's not just one kind. It's not all the same. So a lot of them you can't actually throw into your recycling bin. And like, that's really bad. So if you get a glass one and you try really hard, you might be able to keep this for, I'm going to try and keep these for as long as I can. Honestly, like my nan has glass bottles that she's been reusing for flour and things like that for like 20 years. And like, you know, you just give it a good wash and then it's all good to go. And then you just put something else in there and it's fucking lovely. But yeah, so if I'm not using it for like a myriad of other reasons, I'll be using it to propagate plants. Cool, you know? And then my plants will have a lovely place to root their nodules in, and that's fucking sick. Yeah, man. Like, I think the thing is that people forget that back in the day we used to just use things for more than one purpose. And I know that like consumerism is here and we have more money now and we have more things, and it's like you can have an individual thing for every single need, but like, you know, that's not really going to help you save money. It's not really going to be like kind to your pocket money. And you know, do you really want a house crowded up with heaps of shit? Like, or do you just want to like have a thing and you can use it for a bunch of other things and you didn't really have to pay that much for it? And now you just have this one thing and it has all these uses. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of it is like just absolute bullshit. Like, if my friends came over here, and I know they wouldn't really judge me to my face, no. And if I like was like, hey, let's drink out of mason jars, they'd be like, cool, whatever. Like, if they were the kind of people that were like, WTF, give me some beautiful glass thing to drink out of so I can Instagram this, we probably wouldn't be friends, to be completely honest with you, because that's just not the kind of, that's just not what I'm here for, you know? And then lastly, we keep all our alcohol bottles. So the reason we do this it's pretty much for the same reason. I could literally put legumes in this, you know, gotta wash this out. Could wash it out, put legumes in it, sick, could put water in it, sick, lives in the fridge now. It could be a vase. I could use it for flowers. It's a very interesting bottle. It's actually quite pretty. I'm into this. It's on the back, whatever. I can root my cuttings into it as well. You know, this has so many lives in it left. And as long as you wash your bottles correctly and you wash your lids correctly and you kind of keep them together, the possibilities are really endless. Like, you know, got a couple other ones, you know, we'll use these for things. They make really interesting vases. You know, it's cool. I don't care. Whatevs. Pretty easy breezy, man. Like, you know, from time to time we do buy juice here in this house, and unfortunately not a lot of juice comes in glass bottles. And when I usually do get, I had one, but Andrew's unfortunately recycled it, which makes me really sad. My plan for it was wash it out, give it a good wash and everything like that, cut it in half, and then you get like use this as an example. Pretend this is plastic. So you cut it in half, you get this bit, you invert it, and then you're gonna flip this friend down so it's in here. And then you can put some like woolly bully, some cotton wool, whatever you want. Really doesn't matter, like even if like the water level's high enough. Put a tampon in there. Get the water stream going up. I don't really know. Probably not a tampon. That's a bad idea. I was just being stupid. And basically what you could do then is fill it with soil, put a plant in there, and then you've basically got a self-irrigation system, you know? So basically the point is you would have some form of like cotton or cotton wool or something like that. The water can physically travel up and meet the soil, and then it's obviously going to deposit the water to the soil. And then you basically can just set and forget your plant. So that's something that you can do with like plastic bottles, or you could drink from them if you wanted, but like there are PBA plastic issues of constantly reusing bottles and things like that. And like it could be argued the same for the plant, but I think that, hey, if it's just an ornamental plant, you're never going to eat it. Does it really matter? Probably not. You know, yeah, man. So that's kind of it. I'm kind of done now. Whee! So yeah, those are the things that I take to the store / a rant. Who doesn't love a rant? I'm really sorry if that was like all over the shop, but like, you know, I'm pretty scat and it's the morning and it is what it is. But I just kind of wanted to like let y'all know that there's lots of little things you can do to be environmentally conscious. Like you don't even have to do any of the things I just said. You can buy reusable forks, you can travel with a metal straw, you can just start making little changes. Like we watched a really interesting thing the other night where it was basically saying that Australia is actually having like one meat-free night a week, you know, in Australia. And I just thought that was really cool because like I'm not like a psycho vegan. I'm really not. Like I don't care what you eat. People got to eat what they got to eat. Some people can't live off any other diet than a meat diet because of their guts and their preference, and that's cool, man. I don't give a shit. But like it's nice that you can save maybe $20 one night a week because you're eating something vegetarian. That's really cool. I'm really happy for you that you saved $20 one night a week. Like I'm actually not even being facetious. I'm actually being really serious because like, you know, everyone's jobs were affected last year. If you go to the store, you'll actually see food prices are rising. Like we really don't eat that much, and it's really scary to go to the store and what you used to pay is no longer getting you what you used to get. And so that's where I really think that to reinforce what I like am trying to do here, why growing your own garden is so important, because like, you know, if the food system breaks down, where are you going to get your next meal from? And I'm not trying to like be like a crazy bitch or scare anyone, but it's like, even if that never happens and the world is fine and everything goes back to normal tomorrow, don't you think that it would be nice if you could save a bit of money for yourself and grow your own garden and eat food that you knew where it had started, where it came from, and what had been on it? And so basically you're just like, man, I feel like a salad. Walk out, grab yourself some radishes, a cucumber, and a fucking like, you know, lettuce, and you just make yourself a salad. Like, you know, that's saving you like $10 right there. And wouldn't you prefer to take that $10 and spend it on something else for you and your family? Like I know that I do. And so that's why I grow a garden, because like I want to save money. I want to drastically reduce my food shopping bill every week. I want to use that money for other things. I want to stay at home and work from home. I don't want to work forever. And I would love it if I could save enough money that became a reality, you know? Yeah, just think about it like that. You know, you don't have to like get defensive or think that you have to do fucking everything. Like, you know, small steps, man. Like anything helps. Like, I know at the end of the day, like buying a glass water bottle isn't gonna fucking like change everything tomorrow, and it's not gonna make a huge freaking impact, but like it's something. You did something. There are so many people out there that do nothing and expect the world to just like change overnight, and it doesn't. And they're like, what? But like, you're doing something to like try and spearhead things in the other way. Far out, man. Like, let's just say everyone went and bought glass water bottle. The stores would stock more glass water bottles. They might start reducing the amount of plastic water bottles they had in stock. Other companies might see the trend of buying glass water bottles, and then they might start, you know, instead of having their Fiji bottles in plastic, they might start having glass bottles. And I do understand that, yeah, glass is a little bit difficult to produce, but so is plastic, you know, it's very difficult to break down afterwards. And we shouldn't really have a huge influx of glass bottles. Let's get real for a minute. You know, you got some tap water, you can drink that. Just buy a bloody filter if you're that concerned. But like, that's how things change. You know, everybody has to make a conscious effort, and then we can start kind of getting the big wigs to be like, oh my god, and then they're gonna start fucking switching shit around because they want to make the sales, because honestly they don't give a fuck about you and me. They care about the money. And if you're not gonna buy their plastic shit, they're gonna be like, well then we better be more environmentally conscious so we can get people's money, because that's all we give a fuck about. That's it, man. Like, that's honestly why things are more vegan and friendly than they used to be. It's not because you have people that's sitting around being like, oh my god, we're just so environmentally conscious, like I just can't live with myself day in and day out, we need more vegan options, we need this, we need that. No, it's because there's a market for it. And so people are like, well, far out, man, we want money, let's cater to this market. It's just how it is. And you can sit there and be like, no mate, you don't know shit. Well then go on, what are your credentials, mate? I read a lot, that's on my credentials, but like, you know, I don't care. It's my opinion. I don't give a shit if you like it. Well, I'm gonna have some more tea. Thanks for chilling with me. If you've made it this far, fucking bravo. Here's your round of applause for making it this far. Fuck, that was so sarcastic. I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, man, just try to be more environmentally conscious. One step is better than no steps. This stuff is all fairly cheap and easy. You know, everything's easy if you put in effort. It's not that hard. Just remember, you want less plastic.